ranking every stand in Stone Ocean. Throughout Stone Ocean, we have been presented with a plethora of all kinds of different stand abilities. Some good, some bad, but what they have in common is their creative abilities. But the question that still stands is which one out of the 24 stands that were shown is the strongest one? Before I begin, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button for more content. Also hit the bell to get notified when a new video comes out. And let me know your ranking below. If you like these ranking videos, I got 2 more videos where I rank the JoJos and the villains by their intelligence. Go check that out. Links are gonna be in the description. Alright, let's get to the video. Occupying the last spot is Survivor. Dio didn't outright say this was the most useless stand he's ever encountered, but it was implied when Dio immediately mentioned Survivor after Pucci's question, and this is an accurate analysis. After all, the power of Survivor is sending an electric current of 0.007 volts into a person's brain to cause them to go on a destructive rampage. The person affected by the stand will respond extremely aggressive to the slightest provocation, disregarding enemies or allies, and also this stand can be controlled by anyone. Dragon's Dream. Its primary ability is to locate luck and misfortune in the space, based on an ancient Chinese art known as Feng Shui, a technique whose principles are utilized to this day in contemporary architecture to harmonize positive and negative energies that surround the environment. Seems like a great power, but the problem is, the stand is neutral, and enemies can utilize Dragon's Dream's predictions against the user. Manhattan Transfer allows its user to see through air currents, and it can also shift the direction of bullets, which is entirely dependent on the skill of the user himself, but it isn't very useful when most of the stands can deflect bullets. Burning down the house is a stand of Emporio, and it can grant the user access to ghost objects, like the secret rune inside of the prison, a rune that had been destructed in a fire years prior. It's a cool ability, but it's not as useful in battle as other stands. Goo Goo Dolls can shrink its victims, and in case the victim rebels against Goo Goo Doll's user or refuses to accept its user's orders, Goo Goo Dolls will persecute and kill the target, which will be very problematic if the stand itself wasn't as small and frail as a rat. Highway to Hell is as useless as its user, Thunder McQueen, and that's what makes it dangerous, because any harm Thunder McQueen inflicts upon himself will result in the linked target suffering as well. There is no apparent way of cutting the victim's link. There is no getting out of the stand's reach. The only way to end your connection with Highway to Hell is by killing Thunder McQueen yourself, before he does it, so as long as you're fast enough, it's very easy to counter it. Jailhouse Lock causes its victims to only remember 3 new pieces of information. As someone discovers a new fact, he'll forget his previous bits of information. It is a frightening power to be under the influence of, however, there are way better abilities ahead. Marilyn Manson is a debt collector. He claims all the money Mirachon makes through her gambles. If for some reason the losing person doesn't have all the money that was gambled, the stand can take valuable objects or internal organs as payment. And what makes it better is that Mirachon doesn't have to notice trickery. Marilyn Manson will automatically appear and collect his earnings. So either win your bets against Mirachon or stay away from her at all costs. Bohemian Rhapsody. This stand can bring fictional characters to real life and trap real people into the stories of their favorite characters. There is no reach limit to this stand's ability. Its influence extends to the entire planet. However, if an artist is able to create a character with the ability to nullify Bohemian Rhapsody, it's all over. Green Green Grass of Home is the Green Baby stand, and it is able to shrink his enemies indefinitely. This is relative to the distance between the baby and his enemies. The closer you get to the baby, the smaller you get. It's hard to rank this stand, because while there isn't a weakness to its power, defensively it directly competes with Gold Experience Requiem, but this ability is quite easily avoidable. Green Green Grass of Home isn't the strongest stand, but it also isn't the weakest, so it's fair to put it somewhere in the middle. Underworld can unearth any past event that happened in Orlando, and it is not limited by the date, extent of occurrence, or scope. Memories include car crashes, shootings, plane crashes, NFL football games. Donatello Versus is also granted the knowledge of everything that has happened in the past. If Underworld cannot do the motion of digging up the ground, then it is unable to summon memories. If someone gets dragged into one of those memories, this person is bound to experience the same fate as someone who was originally part of that event, like the victims of the plane crash. You can counter it by replicating what the survivors did back when the incident occurred. Again, not the most powerful ability, but not the least powerful as well. Foo Fighters is the stand that became one of the best characters in Part 6. Its ability is to create a body composed of millions of planktons. Foo Fighters can possess humans using the water in their bodies, killing them, and use portions of her own body as projectiles with her gun finger. It's versatile and strong, but its constant need of water is a massive drawback. The power of planet waves is to attract meteorites into Earth's atmosphere without the risk of friction disintegrating them. These meteorites are very dangerous, and its user is immune to his stand's power, to an extent. Sky-High can manipulate and control rod-like creatures called rods. These rods are insanely fast and can be seen with the naked eye. They are even faster than Stone-Free. These rods feed on bodily heat. It is a deadly ability that can target internal organs to cause disease and failure. Its weakness is that it also affects Rikyo, and that was the actual cause of his poor health up until this point. Limp Bizkit is the stand of Sports Max. What it can do is resuscitate dead creatures as invisible zombies. This power can be used on Sports Max, and is something that is impossible to counter, unless you have a stand physically powerful enough to punch the disc out of Sports Max's body. Yo-Yo-Ma is a weird stand, whose ability is to serve its enemy as a slave, with the ulterior objective of killing him with his acid saliva. What makes him dangerous is the fact that he doesn't appear nor act like an overt threat. Hanazu's stand Diver Down can pack the force of his attacks on any surface and release the shock to hurt his enemies, as well as submerge on any surface including humans. This ability is useful for transportation purposes, defend allies internally like it did against Mating Heaven's attacks, or kill enemies lacerating their insides. It's a pretty damn powerful stand that is well deserving this spot. Whitesnake is the first and original stand of Enrico Pucci. Whitesnake's main ability is to extract or insert traits of the human mind that take the form of discs to be able to rob people of their own stands. He's already something insane by JoJo standards, but he can also steal memories, so that Pucci can acquire vital information that reveal enemies' weaknesses. It was thanks to this stand that Pucci was able to follow through with the Heaven plan. Kiss is a versatile stand that can create duplicates of anything its stickers touch. When a sticker is peeled off, the copy of an object will immediately return and fuse with the original, destroying everything in its path. I say versatile because Kiss has also incredibly high stats, but is not as strong as Stone-Free, the stand of Jolene Kujo. Stone-Free has the ability to allow 70% of Jolene's body to turn into strings. If Jolene opts to manifest its strings in a humanoid form, her range is decreased to 2 meters, but it dramatically increases its strength and power though, and combined with Jolene's sagacious approach in battle, Stone-Free is much more than just a brain-dead stand with strong punches. Jumping Jack Flash has the power to nullify the effect of gravity of anything it touches. Even air itself, the sudden loss of gravity is crippling for enemies. Its most dangerous property is that its power creates a chain reaction that causes the air to become weightless. It eventually creates a vacuum of about 20 meters around the victim that threatens to suck away their blood from any wound, and eventually causes the boiling of the bloodstream long before suffocation sets in. It is crazy how good this ability is for a minor enemy to have. At the bottom of our top 3 is Seamoon. Seamoon's primary ability is the manipulation of gravity. It possesses new strength. However, upon touching any object that has a front and back, it turns it inside out. It can invert the course of the gravitational force in such a way that everything moves away from Pucci, which is the center. That way everything falls parallel to the ground, distancing itself from the stand's user. It is impressive just how simple and deadly this stand is. However, there are 2 more stands above Seamoon that are even scarier. In second place is Weather Report. The stand of Domenico Pucci has absolute control over the weather and the atmosphere. He can create a rain of falling venomous frogs, tornadoes, thunderstorms, and much more. Increase or decrease the concentration of gases and chemical compounds in the atmosphere, like carbon dioxide, nitrogen, oxygen, and so on. To top it all off, he developed Heavy Weather, which represents the release of the stand's full power. Heavy Weather basically alters the ozone layer to foster a particular bizarre delusion in all within its range. And number 1, you already know it's Made in Heaven. Not only is Made in Heaven the strongest of Part 6, but one of the strongest stands in the series. Through the use of the gravity of the universe, Made in Heaven can accelerate time exponentially, impossibilitating any living being of keeping up with it, besides his user, and theoretically God. This is not a particularly strong stand, but he can get in sync with the accelerated time, and not even Star Platinum could compete without using Time Stop. Made in Heaven's speed builds up to the point where it reaches the end of the universe, triggering the creation of another universe. It's only natural to put Made in Heaven on the top spot, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you change anything on this list? And also don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to show your appreciation. Now thank you for watching this video, see you in the next one.